It is time for Cover 3's MVF. Most Valuable Fail.
You heard correctly. It is time for the MVF of the week. Guys, having a little fun with this one. What's the MVFs?
Who's going first?
We'll go down the line. How about you, Atticus? What's your MVF?
Okay, my most valuable fail of the week is the Minnesota Vikings, who just signed Josh Freeman, and he threw the ball over 50 times while only running the ball to Adrian Peterson 13 times.
His completion percentage, 35%.
Yeah.
That's Matthew Stafford type throwing.
Yeah, following up a week that they only ran it to Adrian Peterson 10 times. They need to step it up. They need to hand it off to him more. He's one of the best, if not the best, running back.
Atticus, that's a really good fail because I think you're trying to pinpoint the Vikings running game. It's been horrible coming out of that bye week they had now 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They've always been over the century mark. They've always been over 100 yards to that point at the bye week, and since then it's gone down. And Freeman's going to stay their quarterback even after that horrible game at MetLife. But I agree with you. I think there's also some blame on the coaching staff's part for the Vikings. It was said, by the crew there in the post-game show that they had, saying, how do you throw a guy out there who really hasn't grasped the playbook? He's so talented. I think it's a matter of work ethic. I think he's got to really chip away this thing, go hammer and rock, and sort it out.
And I know you're trailing, but the Vikings' running game is their passing game. If you're trailing, run the ball. If you're winning, run the ball. If anything, if you're the Vikings, run the ball.
You got to feed the beast. You got to feed Adrian Peterson.
You're arguably the best player on your team.
When looking at the stats, the first 4 games before the bye week, Adrian Peterson had either close to 20 or over 20 attempts, and either close to 100 or over 100 yards rushing. And every single they went 1-3, which isn't great, but those games were all close. They lost by a margin of less than 10 in every single game, and some of them were by 1 point.
And he's not even arguably the best player on his team. He's undeniably the best player on his team. Why are you not giving him the ball?
They had all these close games when they were running the ball a lot. Hit the bye week. They come back. They only run them 10 and 13 times, respectively, and they get blown out both games. They need to give them the ball more.
Good fail.
Great fail.
How about you, Mike? What's your fail?
My fail came in a preseason game. It was Knicks-Raptors, and the game was over the border, and I thought it was just so funny. Ron Artest doing some post moves, playing some good defense, and there's Tyler Hansbrough, former UNC Tar Heel, now with the Raptors, and he goes to turn around to see who's playing tough defense because I think I had agitated him. Turns around and is like, oh, my bad. Sorry, Ron. Completely backs down when he sees it's Ron Artest because he knows he does not want a piece of that. Ron Artest, who wants to fight with him?
It looks like Artest, Meta World Peace, I apologize, gave him the evil eye.
Yeah.
Like what are you turning around for?
I like how you said that, Mike. Does not want to have a piece of that.
Does not. I mean, like
Meta World Peace.
He wants peace with peace.
That was good. That was punny right there.
Yeah, Psycho T wasn't so psycho on that.
What you got, Shay?
But my most valuable fail is the New York and Jets Patriots game. Four people, 2 Jets fans who were male and 3, and well, it said 2, but this person named 3 women Patriots fans, and they got into a scuffle. Now, it says that the men punched the women. The men said that the women were aggressors, but please, it is just a game. I know I get all amped up in these Patriots games. I trash talk all the time.
Just look at Facebook.
Just look at Facebook. But it's just a game. There's no need to fight. There's no need to cause controversy. There's no need to go in court for just a game. These guys are playing it, not you.
People sip down the suds a little bit, get a little bit too aggressive. Feel though they're part of the team. You can't do that. That's assault. That's illegal.
And also too, undeniably, people are drinking at those things. People have to hold accountability for themselves, and fans again. It's kind of like when I sounded off. I think it was a couple weeks ago. Is just hold yourself to a higher standard. When you know at a game, be professional and stuff like that. It's not the end of the world. It's supposed to be an outlet where we can have fun, chill out, and relax, and our fandom can sometimes get the best of us. We see with soccer, in some cases between a Red Sox-Yankee brawl, and unfortunately it came too with Jets-Patriots, which is just as heated. So, yeah, it's too bad. It's horrible.
Yes.
Violence against anybody is horrible, and even in this case, it's disgusting. Yeah.
I agree. My most valuable fail is the injuries in the NFL. wild injuries in the NFL. A lot of season enders, torn ACLs. We mentioned Reggie Wayne, Sam Bradford, also tore his ACL. Brian Cushing, broken fibula and LCL. Jay Cutler's going to be out for a little bit. Dougie Martin from the Buccaneers, torn labrum in his shoulder. Lance Briggs, another Bear going down. Jermichael Finley with a bruised spinal cord in his neck after a head-to-head contact injury. Kept him down. He was carted off the field. And Nick Foles with a concussion.
And what we forgot to mention is Leon Hall also has a torn ACL, Bengals cornerback.
It's ridiculous how many people went down just this week.
But when people go down, other people want a job. And Jeff Garcia actually recently reached out to the Browns looking if he could get a tryout.
I did hear that.
That's pretty cool. The guy still got it. He still wants to play.
The thing
How old
was,
is he now?
Let me see. Let me look it up.
the thing was, Brandon Whedon didn't go down with an injury. Jeff
right.
Garcia just thinks he's starter material for the Cleveland Browns.
He's probably just as old as Brandon Whedon. Who knows?
But
How old is he?
one guess each. It's not that hard, but
I'm gonna say. Hang on. I'm gonna say like 42.
I say 43.
oh, we got a winner.
Oh, come
43
on.
right there. 43 years young. He wants to
I
come
totally
back for a tryout.
just guessed that.
Yeah, why
Come
not?
on.
That's
All
good.
right.
That was a good MVF.
That was a terrific MVF. Always, that's one of my favorite segments. I love the fact that we got that new segment. So, we got 15 minutes left in this half hour. We're going to preview some NFL week 7 or 8. It's week 8 now, right?
Yep, coming up
Yeah.
on week 8.
Some week 8 games. We've
Can you
got
believe how, sorry to cut you off,
No,
how
go ahead.
fast the season's going?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's already
Yeah.
almost halfway over. It's
I know.
it's gone by like crazy fast.
I know, and I don't think your team's got the bye week yet. I had to go 1 week without football, so that was the slowest Sunday of the season.
Yeah. This past Sunday was the Raiders' bye week.
Yeah,
And
and it's
it
the slowest Sunday of the season.
It was nice because I had family in town, so I didn't have to worry about blowing them
right,
off
yeah.
to watch the Raiders. We went into Coney Island and whatnot. It was fun.
Yeah, I went to a movie this Sunday, and I managed to get back because I saw the 12 o'clock showing of Carrie, the scary movie.
Well,
That's
how was
Yeah.
it?
It wasn't that bad. I didn't see the original, so I don't know how it compares to that. No, I went with the lady friend. If nobody died, I say it would have been a chick flick because it was about this teenage girl gets asked to prom, has a great time, and then something happens, and then people die. But if nobody died, it would have been a chick flick. So it was okay.
You like watching horror films? I
No.
love horror films.
No.
I absolutely love horror films.
I don't.
They're
I'm a
amazing.
baby.
Yeah.
I'm a little baby. I can't watch horror films. But Carrie was okay. I'll set it. I can't go to theaters because it gets dark. And
Oh.
I'm telling you, I'm a baby.
You need that nightlife.
Yeah, no, I
That
need
nightlight.
that night light. That's what I need.
You're not about that nightlife, but you want the nightlight.
Exactly. All right. Enough about me being, chicken. So we got some pretty good games coming up. Let's go with the Redskins and Broncos. RG3 had a great game in Chicago. Alfred Morris had a pretty good game, but Roy Halou was that vulture who stole 3 touchdowns away from him.
For us fantasy people,
Yep.
we don't like that.
Me neither.
Shanahan.
And of course, the Broncos coming off their first loss of the season. How are they going to respond? They're going to be at home. So maybe that's a plus for them. So, guys, we picked this because of the 2 offenses and the lack of defenses. So we think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game. Like the past game, Redskins won 45-41, and of course the Broncos lost 39-30. So that's some pretty high numbers there.
Yeah, the Redskins were able to crank it up, and they ended up getting that win. It was 45. Did they win? They beat the Bears?
Redskins, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because when I last checked the score on Sunday, they were down.
Yeah, it was a late touchdown run by Roy Halou, his third of the game. That happened within the 2-minute warning. I don't know if it happened within 1 minute, though.
I got to check out how Robert Griffin III did in that game. I'm looking here. He had close to 300 yards for him. Their defense is so suspect. When you're ranked 22nd like the eighth worst in the NFL when it comes to opponent passing yards, and you're just at the absolute bottom when it comes to rushing.
Yeah.
It's going to be extremely difficult on the road in Denver, higher altitude, charged, jam-packed arena. And also, mind you, Peyton Manning just had a loss the week prior, and they want to get back on the winning note again.
Yeah. They want to get rid of that sour taste of the Indianapolis Colts loss.
So the Redskins, I feel like they come in without a shot. They don't have a shot, which is a bold and steep thing to say, but is difficult. That defense has got to step it up if they want to do. They got to help Robert Griffin III out, who, mind you, is still playing before his expected return date for normal people. And now Robert Griffin's not normal. He's a supreme athlete.
Oh, yeah, he is.
But he shouldn't be playing right now with the ACL the way it is. He needed more time to go out there. See, confidence is really important. I think he's finally getting it back, though.
Yes, he is, especially with that big win, come from behind win in Chicago. I believe it was it. No, that was home. That was a home game.
That was at home.
Yeah. All right, so never mind that in Chicago part. But, big confidence booster. He threw a lot of passes. He also ran for a few yards, didn't he? He ran for like 80 yards. So as we're getting that if he did run for that many yards, which I believe he did, that's also a confidence booster, so he can make his cuts and things like that. So it's great for him to be coming back. Well, he's been back since week 1, but it's great for him to finally, get that first game of, hey, I almost did this all by myself, like he did last year in his rookie year.
You mentioned he had 83 yards, and that's a long of 23, and it's been a steady progression, starting around for the past 2 weeks, and even against Dallas when he was on the road. You saw that some rushing, and he's putting more trust into that knee. And I think a lot of people, you don't have to be a pro athlete to say it. When you've got an injury, you're afraid, you're tentative. You don't want it to happen again to bring you that pain,
right,
in your head. So the week, 2 weeks ago, it's 77 yards, long of 26. This week, he betters his total. He had 84 yards, long of 23. And those past 2 weeks, it was a total of 20 attempts at running the ball. That's a tremendous improvement from the 13 attempts prior, where he only ranks up to about just over 30 yards.
He's getting his
40 yards.
He's getting his confidence back.
Getting his confidence back.
Recovering from an ACL tear, he's getting the courage to run the ball more.
And I think that's a huge asset for the Redskins, and they're going to need Robert Griffin III to continue doing that if this defense can't step up, which right now is one of their biggest detracting, things about them. They got to step it up.
Yeah, I think the Colts showed that very few defenses can stop Peyton Manning. Though I think they did the best job out of them all that they faced. However, they still scored 30 points. So a lot of offenses have to have the mindset, hey, we got to outscore Peyton Manning, and that starts with RG3, starts with Alfred Morris, Pierre Garçon. Of course, the Denver Broncos defense isn't that good. We're mentioning the Redskins defense. The Denver Bronco defense isn't pretty either.
Just to mention, Von Miller is going to be back for a second week, and he's going to be spying Robert Griffin and see if he could get out that pocket. But I agree with Mike. I don't see a chance of the Redskins winning it. Of course, I don't want to jinx it. The Redskins are actually going to win it, but their defense, especially their secondary, is extremely suspect. D'Angelo Hall,
he just went down.
Just went down, yeah, and they just can't defend the pass. Even with D'Angelo Hall playing, they couldn't defend the pass. So Manning can have a field day against them.
So, I believe you guys shared your picks. You say the Redskins have no shot.
I think it's to be stacked against them. If they were to come back, I think if their defense steps up, I think it's a significant storyline.
Yeah.
I think it's a significant thing and story in the NFL that now the Denver Broncos possibly are going to lose 2 straight games. That Washington finally may be getting back on the right track. I think so many people are in their corner and want Robert Griffin to come through. And it seems like 2 weeks now, the performance has been there. And will we see the Robert Griffin III of old? Maybe. Maybe not, because he suffered ACL injuries before, so he's gotten back to that level. But this is a very intriguing matchup, and it's why it's the game of the week.